Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Talking Japanese Plastic. Today I'm finally taking a look at the Wizard driver from Kamen Rider Wizard. I got this a while back, it's just been kind of a big review and my life's gotten pretty busy here and there. So I haven't had time to take a look at this guy. And with my figures from Kamen Rider Games starting to pile up in my private warehouse over there at HLJ, I figure I better get this guy out of the way before I start reviewing anything from the new series. Now, the Wizard driver itself is such a nice piece. It's very cool. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can get some shots. We have the four forms, I guess, of Kamen Rider Wizard and the rings for each of them. Nice little thing about all the rings is that all of them have the little snap, like henshin. Then you can do your whole henshin thing. All of them do it. They all have a little flip up, flip down. You don't see it that much in the show, but it's nice that they all do that. They sit pretty nicely. I went out of my way and got the bigger rings for all of these guys. So all four of these guys I can wear. I split up my big ones. There's a few on my Beast guys, and there's one, I think, floating around my collection of other rings, which we'll bring in a few minutes. Well, I guess we'll start by looking at the device itself. I should have given this a quick dusting. It's been sitting in my room for a little bit. Like, look at that. It's so shiny and gold. That's shiny up top. And this is nice because if you were wearing the belt, all the sounds would be projected up to where you can hear them. Jewels, that little belt clippy John. The whole thing's done in this kind of like pearlescent gray. I don't know if it's coming through. Let me take these guys off. It's a lot easier to see here on this. It's not just a flat gray, it's got some shiny little like pearlescence to it, which is pretty nice. Let's have a look at the back, because I love that the Wizard belts have this fantastic back to them. You've got the whole dragon symbol motif going on back here. You know, it looks great. Yeah, nothing too special on the bottom, on-off switch. We've got, of course, switches which side, which you'll see why it does that in a moment. I'll just do it with a red ring, or the flame ring as it were, when I start. So let's turn this sucker on. Switch down here goes from X to O, as Bandai's been doing as of late. Let's make sure there's not some light in it, and now hold on a sec, because I want to tighten that up a little bit so you can see the symbol pretty well. How cool is that, right? And to activate the... So now it's ready to go, and to activate the henshin noises, you flip the paddles or what have you, little switches on either side, to get it to the sides you need. It needs to be looking like this to do a henshin, and when it's on the other side, it's going to be using the auxiliary rings. So I guess I will show you the henshins I've got. The four of these. All of these rings did not come together. I bought 3 packs of the 2 packs of rings. I have the Wizard sword gun, which filled in that and this together have all of the rings, plus the kick strike ring, which is over there. Actually, let me grab the kick strike real quick, so I can show you just kind of the basic normal workings of things. Oh, good. The kick strike is my one that has the big ring size on it. I'll show you the smaller ones in a sec when I get those out. So from this side, you can't really henshin. You can't just pop it. You have to flip it over here real quick and then flip it back. Thusly. Then you get your henshin standby noise. Shabba-dooby touch a henshin. God, I love Wizard. So that's how we transform it. That's how we'd switch over to his flame style. You hold it in, it does the henshin noise. You hold it in front of it. You really are just about touching it. The ring lights up, and you drop it off, or you pull it off. Now you have to be careful of when you pull it off, because you leave it there too long, it just repeats the phrase again. So you get a hang of the timing after you do it a few times. Let me show you what I mean by that. See, it'll just keep doing it. But on some of them, you can actually pull it off a little too early, too, and it'll just go for the henshin noise. See, just goes into the next one as soon as it's removed. And then before I show you the other three main form rings, I'll show off Kick Strike here. Kick Strike ring. Put this little sucker on. You would go. I believe it's Lep Arch Magic. Oh, I did it too fast. But that's his big final kick. Let me do that again to get it right. And the timing on that one's a little tricky because as soon as he's done pronouncing the K sound in strike, you have to pull it off immediately because there's a very short timer. It's just going to go right into it again. So those are the basics of it. That was a henshin and one of its utility rings, I guess I'll call them. And it's pretty cool. I think it's very awesome. It uses some near-field communication technology so that the rings tell it what to do. It uses power to power the rings. These rings don't have batteries or anything inside them. The light from inside is the same light, the energy for that's coming from here. I guess it's along the same lines as Skylanders. I tried using them with each other. I don't think it worked, which was a little unfortunate. But what do you expect? Let's do the other henshins real quick. Start with water. I love that one. I think it's just the guitar or something, but I love the water transformation. Do Hurricane, the green ring. Pretty good. And then last but not least, we'll do Landu. Oh, gotta do this. That one's pretty fun too. I like just the percussive beat of it all. And now I'm gonna grab all the other little tiny rings I have, and we'll go through those real quick. I got about 7 of these how do I have 7 of them? Oh, that's right. One of them is actual dragon form, and that came with the Dragon Phantom that powers Wizard. The set with him and the bike. That gave you the actual dragon form ring. I think I'll start with... Every set comes with one serious one and one that's kind of a joke. Those are the jokes. Okay, these are the serious ones. anyone... Oh wait, before I even start that, I'll show off the tiny size of the standard ring piece. You can see that's the ones I'm using. And these are the ones that come with it. These get about halfway onto my pinky before it gets tight, and I can kind of do that, and now it's going to take me a minute to get this off. Okay, that wasn't too bad. But the standard rings pieces that come with these are about as big. They can fit most adult pinkies, maybe. You know, they're totally for children. So I bought a set of the extra ones. They just come right off. You can see there's a little slot in the channel there. Little clips. This just has a little nubbin on the bottom to help hold it in when it hits the little divot there. And that's all that is for that. So let's get on with the rings. Anyone who watches the show has seen this one a lot. That is the Connect ring, which Wizard uses. When he uses it, a portal opens up right nearby, and he just reaches his hand in. The other end of the portal tends to come out wherever he needs it to, so that he can pick up and grab whatever he's using. He uses it a lot to pull the Wizard Sword Driver out of seemingly nowhere. I think it was the first episode, possibly the second. I think it was the first episode. He used it to just grab some donuts he had left somewhere earlier. Because if you've never seen the show, main character loves him some donuts. Plain sugar only. Alright, what else have we got? Well, we'll go with the shrink ring next. Now, the thing about some of the rings, like the shrink ring, is you have to have someone else wear it. So when he used the shrink ring in the show, he jammed it onto an opponent and slapped their hand down to the Wizard Driver to activate it. Which seems not the best way to do things. Oh! I got that wrong. That's the copy ring. It's kind of hard to tell from this. In case you can see, there's a bunch of tiny little dragon heads in the back. I thought it was a shrinking thing. Nope. It's the copy ring. Still a good one. I like that. And then we have Rage, I believe? That's right, it's not Rage, it's the Excite ring. It buffs him up and makes him tougher and a better fighter. You can kind of see, I love how they all have this little checkered pattern behind all of them, a bit of a grid to help make out the other details. You can see it's a dragon with fire coming from his eyes. And then we'll do the dragon ring before I do the silly ones. That is a freaking dragon. And then here's the pattern. It's done in a very stained glass kind of style. I really like it. It looks way better on the camera than it does in person. In person, the elements kind of get a little muddled together, unless you get a good light on that silver that really helps outline it all. Now we'll do some of these hilarious, jokey ones. Well, we'll do that one last, because that's my favorite. And that's it. That is the sleep ring. And again, the sleep ring is the kind of thing where if he wants to use it on an opponent, he has to quickly slide it onto them and grab their hand and move it near the belt to activate it. Tricky, but it's worked once or twice. You know? And I think it's been used on civilians a few times, which actually is a better use for them. He's even got the light comes in where the little sleepy bubble is. I love that little guy. We've got Smell. forgot that was the sound for smell. There's the smell ring. You can see it's got scent lines wafting up from the nose of the dragon. And here's my favorite one, the dress-up ring. And the wizard is immediately dressed up in... It might work for whatever he needs to get into a certain situation, but I've only seen it as a tux. And here is this little guy. I love this thing so much. Just the happy dragon face and this big bow tie. This has been my Twitter avatar since I got this thing, pretty much. So those are all of the regular wizard rings, the ones that are designed to go with wizard. But those of you who have watched my videos know we've got a couple more. You can hear them off here as I roll them like dice. We have the beast rings. So let's have some fun with those. I don't think you can henshin with any of them. Maybe you can. I don't know. I forget exactly how it worked out on the show. I know that Wizard can use beast rings on this side as like a power-up. I think they always work as kind of like a power-up. I was actually surprised that anything worked on the henshin side. Let me just try one of the others just to see. There's a good shot we're just going to get beast again. Huh. That didn't sound like a chameleon at all. That was the Cameleo ring. Let me see the other side. Okay, so you get a different beast noise for all of them. Or they just say beast for all of them, but they have a unique little sound effect. Let me see if that chameleon's the same on this side. Alright, that's apparently what they think a chameleon sounds like. I'm not going to argue. I'm not in charge of the art and such. We'll do Buffer Ring. That's cool. We do get a nice different sound for everyone. And that's the dolphin noise, which I guess is correct. It's so weird to hear, like, film and everything has trained us to hear just the same, like, 2 or 3 dolphin noises, you know, the ones they use for the entirety of Flipper. And when it's different than that, it just kind of sounds off a little bit. Last but not least, we'll do Hyper. The opening, closing mouth part of Hyper doesn't actually matter, because that doesn't affect anything physically. We'll see how this goes. Wow! Wizard also has his own hyper noise for Beast, or Beast hyper noise. That's pretty nice. There are more rings too. I do not own all of the rings. I am not going to buy all of them, but I bought the ones that I really wanted to have, and I've got a full set of Beast stuff, so that's nice. I've got the main 4 rings you need for Wizard to henshin. Wait. One last thing before we go, I gotta show you an error. I have no idea what he's saying there. I really don't know. But yeah, that's an error. If you try and use one of the like utility spell rings, that's what I should call them. If you try and use one of the spell rings when it's set to henshin, that won't work. And if you try and use a henshin when you're set to spell, same thing doesn't go. Let's see. I believe that's about it. I believe I went over what the Wizard driver can do in its own thing. You can't use any of the Wizard rings in the Beast driver at all. The Beast Driver does not have the NFC kind of reader at all. I like that a lot about the way the two belts work. Because the Beast belt, the Beast Driver is supposed to be a very primitive thing. It's supposed to be back before they had much more advanced magics. And the Beast belt is just, everything on it works physically. You know, everything on the Beast belt here, pull that out a little. Everything on the Beast belt is physical. When you turn this thing, you can see those little things go up. And that's what causes that to happen. You know, when you put the rings in here, you can kind of see, it depresses these little guys down here. You can kind of see there are 3 little doodads in there, and they're not on the upper side. And I know I pointed this out, but that's how they work. You know, it pushes in a certain amount of things, the right buttons, and the thing goes off. And I like that. I really like that this is all just physical, mechanical stuff for the primordial mage, and then the modern mage has this fancy RFID, NFC lighting up, more or less modern magic for how it works. I don't have the third belt. I don't plan on getting the third belt, the one for the White Wizard. It would be cool, and it says now instead of please, but overall, I don't really need it once I've got these two. You know, it's more or less the same kind of toy, just slightly different. I think that's all I've got to say, though, about this fantastic little thing. I know Wizard's over, and if you're getting into collecting Wizard now, everything's going to be tricky to find, or it's going to be kind of pricey or something like that, but this thing is awesome. I don't plan on picking up the Gaim belt. It looks cool, and I like it. It just doesn't look like the kind of piece that I need to own in my collection. This little guy, I had to get. I mean, it just looks so great, sitting there on a shelf. Like, you've got all this nice silver and gold all over it. The light just catches it from just about everywhere. Nope, I left it on. Let's kill that for a second. The detailing on the back is nice. Oh yeah, this is the Beast one. And this is just overall very cool Kamen Rider belt. This, all the stuff I've picked up from Wizard so far. This, the Beast Driver, the Mirage Magnum, and the Wizard Sword Gun, which is still tricky for me to say. They're all great pieces. I really like the ring gimmick. I like the way it works differently in the two sets of different equipment. And they were really fun to collect and, you know, goof around with. And it's really nice. It's fun to have a toy or something like this that you show to someone and their face just kind of lights up and they're kind of a little bit blown away. I mean, we know, yeah, sure, we could do that kind of stuff these days, but seeing it used in a toy really kind of drives it home more than just, I don't know, any other little use of such technology. You're like, oh, you can pay for stuff with your phone. Yeah, well, I can summon a dragon with RFID. That's pretty cool. Well, NFC, sorry. I just really love this little thing. You know, this thing is so much fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to show off with the Wizard Sword Gun while I have all this out, and I think I'm good. If I didn't mention it already, the Wizard Sword Gun, all the beast rings just do beast in that. And it reads all the other things like normal, just without the lights. You know, because it'll do dragon and connect and things of that nature. But yeah, this is the Wizard Driver from Kamen Rider Wizard, and it is awesome. Pick it up if you can, or if you haven't already. This has been Lincoln for Talking Japanese Plastic. I will see you guys next time.